Welcome to the Maclunkey-Cast. Maclunkey. You didn't do it, bro.
Clunky.
You left me in the dark. That wasn't cool.
You did it late. You did it late.
Okay. No, it's too late. Thank you everyone for stopping by and checking out our channel. Basically, we are two pretty big Star Wars fans, and we just kind of want to talk Star Wars, share our love for the show, the medium, and we thought this would be a fun way for us to do it. My name is Holden, and I'm here with
Jack.
Yeah, and we've known each other for a while now, and we're just really big fans, and we wanted to start doing this. So basically the expectations for this channel, or at least the podcast, is just going to be, we'd like to do it maybe once a week, talk about upcoming movies, shows. We're really big in like the collecting world of Star Wars, so we like the action figure side of things too, statues, things like that. So we might share stuff, things that we've got, or upcoming things that we find cool that we want to share with everybody. Do you have anything to add on that, Jack?
Yeah, I mean, I think you do a lot more collecting. You do a lot more, like, you have a lot of random characters that you know. Like, Glupshido's just a random people, like, that random character that nobody knows the name of, you just know them. But I do a lot of, like, comics, recently books, like audiobooks. I've been doing a lot, just like every day I do like a walk in 30 minutes with an audiobook. So I think I do a lot of media stuff, like random comics, books, stories, whatever stuff. So just kind of talking about, whatever is interesting and then whatever is new. Sometimes I think there's going to be like a delay in between Star Wars releases of stuff, but there's going to be a lot of new stuff, like Bad Batch and Mando happen at the same time. Whatever's coming up next, like Ahsoka and stuff like that's coming up. So whatever, we'll talk about a lot of new episodes and then what else Star Wars related that we like. Like I know you get a lot of stuff, but I get some occasional stuff. Like I got the collectible. I think you got that too. The collector's edition of the new Jedi game. Jedi Survivor. So I got that. I'll probably show off and other stuff I pick up here and there.
Yeah, I unfortunately am a pretty big Star Wars collector. And same thing. Yeah. And Jack, he collects too, but like he was saying, on the medium side, that what he keeps up with, you've actually recently, within, what would you say, the past year, a little over that, you started reading more of Star Wars.
Yeah, I'd say, I can't say I read too much, but I'd say last year, maybe the last, maybe it was last year, like a year ago, because audiobooks take a while. I've been trying to do more walks or like in car rides. I live like 30 minutes away from some people I know, so in car rides I'll throw on an audiobook. So 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back, or whatever. I'm driving to like an appointment, I'll listen to a couple minutes of an audiobook. So you slowly get through some books. Like I listened to Thrawn. I've read a couple books too, but I'm doing a lot more audiobooks because you have those actors and the sound effects and stuff like that, which is really cool. Like especially Thrawn, they had Thrawn's voice actor.
They did phenomenal with that, with Timothy Zahn's Thrawn. I mean, the audio with that was insane. I loved listening to that audiobook.
Yeah, well, the guy Mark Thompson who narrates is really great. Although he does do the same voice for every girl he plays, so it's like the same girl voice.
You get a lot of Mark Thompson, but unfortunately, you get a lot of Mark Thompson doing everything else too.
I did the Rebels one. I can't remember what it's called. The Rebels book with Kanan. What was it called? He did Hera. I'll look it up real quick. But he did Hera's voice the whole time. So you got to listen to it a lot. But then in the Thrawn book, his second the commander. What's the commander's name? That's
he did Price a lot.
Yeah, he did Price, and she was a lot. She was a big part of the book, and it's like the same voice. Kinda. Yeah, a lot of, maybe not Governor Price. I think voice was a little different, but some of the background girls who just the same voice. But he's a really good narrator.
Yeah, he's fantastic. Now, that's just kind of, that we got a little sidetracked already, but that's kind of some of the stuff that we want to talk about on the, just share our love for what we're into currently and what each of us is doing. is, like I said,
Or-
I've read, listened to audiobooks, things like that long ago. I haven't been doing it as much. Over the years, I've kind of stopped doing that. Jack's been doing that a lot recently, and that's probably getting me back into it too. And you also read the comic books, but
Yeah.
we're pretty much open to every medium that Star Wars has put out. We love the stories, we love the lore, we love all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of the expectations. Is, like I said, we just kind of want to talk about current events, things we like, things we see.
Yeah.
I
I also
know,
wouldn't mind picking out. I wouldn't mind picking out hey, let's do a deep dive into this topic,
Oh yeah,
research it or look I don't know. I've been reading the Crimson Dawn comics that are newer, so maybe Crimson Dawn's past. I'm not sure if they ever showed him in the past or anything like that, or hey, what about this planet's history throughout something, or a random fact and lore. We could also do a deep dive, mini segment or a big one too, or suggestions or something like that.
for sure. Yeah, that's the thing is, and we're also doing this to, we kind of want to. We love the community, the Star Wars fans that, we get to be a part of. So hopefully this can take off or do something. And if anyone has any suggestions or anything, leave a comment. Tell us what you want to see, and we'd love to know. I think one of the big things we can start off with talking about is Bad Batch ended
Yeah.
2 weeks ago. And well, I guess we'll talk about that for a little bit.
Yeah. Well, now that it's over, yeah, we can talk about it in full.
Yeah, and since this is first episode and everything, I think we'll kind of give our thoughts and feelings. Let's start off with the first season, actually. Did you like the show?
I thought it was okay. I mean, it's just Star Wars content. It's not all of it's blow my socks off. But I think first season I thought was a lot of forgettable moments. But then there was a really, really good first episode. There was an hour long.
The first episode is one of the best hooks ever.
Yeah, showing Bad Batch, showing Kanan starting off.
It was Order 6. Spoilers. Probably should have said that, but yeah, spoilers for Bad Batch in general. It starts off with Order 66, and I'm always game to see more of that, always. And Disney's been really giving it.
Point where I'll get sick of it.
Oh, we have always down the line. Yeah, I thought the first episode of Bad Batch was fantastic. Then the second episode was the one where they go back to meet Cut Lawquane, which is a character from the Clone Wars. He was a AWOL clone, basically left the...
Yeah, it's cool to see him bring back some characters.
It is.
Random one.
It is. And then they met Sid. And then, I mean, it's fun little stories to tell, I don't think I hate any episode of The Bad Batch.
Yeah, I think
I do.
I think I mentioned my gripe with it was there was some forgettableness, and there's a lot of good episodes, them showing the Empire kind of adopting and transitioning into the Empire from the Republic. I think that was a really cool thing that they showed. I think that's great lore building stuff, but some of the problems, some of the episodes, maybe mid to late season until the end, was just a lot of let's go grab supplies or something like that. And they showed Hera. That was pretty cool. I always think about that episode. It's pretty good.
That 3-part arc on Ryloth is really good. I like all of that with Hauser and all of that.
I mean, looking back at it, maybe it wasn't so bad, because I'm looking at some of the episodes and I see Cad Bane was in there, and he was pretty cool to see. But there was definitely some forgettable stuff, like capturing the Rancor.
It really is. Like I said, they're fun. It's fun to watch. It was really fun to see Wrecker fight an infant Rancor. That's funny. That's cool. And then you had the one episode where I can't remember his name. He had I remember the pet's name was Ruby, I think. He was the same species as Vizago from Rebels. Yeah, and they had that whole, the Pikes come in and they want to take over and all that. in that episode, like that one's kind of forgettable, but there's
Yeah, it definitely
fun.
was.
There's fun things that happen when you're watching it. So I don't think I have any episode of the Bad Batch I hate. I do like the show. It's
Yeah.
Clone Wars season 8. It really is,
Yeah.
and I love the lore that we get for building the like you were saying, the Republic becoming the Empire, and we really get that in season 2.
I think season 1 does a lot more of that, though. They show them getting chain codes. They show the literal announcement to the clones of it becoming the Empire. I think they did a lot deeper stuff in season 1 on the transition, but I think season 2 did a lot of more like, hey, here's... Well, the Bad Batch doesn't really have an affiliation with anybody. They're just kind of the Bad Batch. They don't really hang out with rebels, but it's a lot of running away from the people, but it does a lot more building on the Bad Batch themselves. Like, Tech gets a lot of growth in the beginning of the season.
Especially season 2.
Yeah, they show the Wookiees was really cool. They get that Wookiee Jedi, what's his name?
Tribe,
coming back.
Gunji.
Yeah,
but
I
then
thought that was cool.
When it comes to the clones becoming Imperial, that's where, like, you see with Episode 7, the Clone Conspiracy. That's with when they reintroduce Senator Chuchi from the Clone Wars, and she comes in, and she's fighting for the clones to have rights. You know, it's kind of like, we want to make sure you have health care and benefits. Is basically what it is.
And then they just say their property later on, but I think that's cool too. I like the only, I think, main plot that they show, at least towards the end of the season, is clones having a right, freeing them, becoming their own people. So season 2 does a lot of focus on clones' rights, them seceding or like getting aware of how bad the Empire is.
It's them being replaced. So, the Outpost is one of the best episodes of the Bad Batch in general, where it's Crosshair's episode, and he goes to, it's basically like a Hoth planet, all ice, and the people, or the clones, are left to kind of fend for themselves, and they've been waiting multiple rotations for help, and they haven't been sent it, and then they find out in the end that they're just guarding TK Trooper, and TK Trooper is Stormtrooper armor. It's basically the first issue of Stormtrooper armor before they start looking like the ones you know from like A New Hope and Rebels.
Yeah.
So, before that, you see all these clone commandos, and you've never seen this many clone commandos in any medium of Star Wars, and I think that shows the importance of whenever they're around somebody, how important this Imperial person is.
Yeah.
Crosshair gets huge development in that episode too. It's his best episode, and then they're showing the Emperor. He comes out of the Senate in a prior episode, and he announces the Stormtrooper Initiative to get rid of clones.
Yeah, and on that Tech, what's it called, Crosshair episode, it kind of showed a lot of like clones being resentful of what they're doing.
Yes.
Like they don't get any of the new gadgets, they don't get the new stuff. Also, the episode I think was really cool too. Is like, it wasn't amazing, but I thought it was a good callback to the one where they're cloning that beast that the Emperor had captured in Clone Wars.
Oh, the Zillo Beast.
Yeah, they brought
That's
a lot
fun
of,
episode.
They brought out a lot of stops this season with like
references.
Initiative Stardust near the end.
Mm-hmm.
And then on that planet, they showed the Zillo Beast. They had the what's in it? The Senator lady. They had let's see.
They had that. They had Senator Chuchi. But then in like a later episode, well, in the summit, when you said they dropped Stardust, they also talk about Krennic. Krennic is there from Rogue One.
Krennic, I think you said to me one time, it was like how unimportant some characters were, like Tarkin. Like, he was a character there, but he became like such an important character the more we developed Star Wars. Like, Krennic is everywhere now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm always seeing Krennic getting dropped now.
And it's weird to think about with a lot of that stuff, because like he's like, the Death Star is his project, but we know in Attack of the Clones, Count Dooku had that commissioned for the Geonosians, so whose project is it really? But it's basically his in canon. Like it's his baby. At least he is forcing this to go through. He maybe didn't design it or start it, but he's the one. He's the guy in charge of making it come true. And
exactly,
they're really starting to show a lot of him. And Tarkin got so much love when he was reintroduced in the Clone Wars as Captain Tarkin. Um,
In the
the
episode with that
Citadel,
one, that short Jedi, yeah, where
even Peel.
and they really call that back a lot in the show too, and how like whenever they have Tarkin in there during the Empire, he mentions a lot about how he hang out with the Jedi's, and it's like they're not that great, they're not that good at what they do. Like
Yeah.
in Rebels, I just rewatched it and they were showing him in there, and he's just like, yeah, Jedi's are not that good, and there's a reason why they're extinct. So he's pretty cold, mean about stuff, but they there's a lot of callbacks and a lot of the new Star Wars stuff. The more content we make, the more they'll mention other stuff and have characters reoccurring. Like, what's his name? That rebel?
Bail Organa. Saw Gerrera.
Bail Organa. I think Bail Organa is a character you mentioned that was nowhere, but in that one movie, and he's everywhere now.
He was in Attack of the Clones as a senator for Alderaan and Revenge of the Sith.
For like no time though.
But then they put him in everything. He sort of started showing up in video games. Then he was in Rogue One. Now he's in. Same with Mon Mothma. She's getting so much.
He's in Rebels. Everybody's in a lot of people.
She's
in
Andor.
Andor. I mean, some people are really thrown out there, but Saw Gerrera, he's everywhere now. He's in like everything. He's in Rebels. He's in Bad Batch. He's in Rogue One. I mean, he's in a lot of things.
He is.
Yeah. Is he Amanda? Wasn't he? Or was he? I don't remember.
No, that's Andor.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
He dies by
Andor.
the time Andor. Yeah, by Mando.
He's dead long.
Since we're on the topic of Saw Gerrera, like we said earlier, spoilers, I think we should talk about the finale of Bad Batch Season 2. And
yeah, I think that's a good in-depth episode.
Why I say we should segue to that from what we were talking about with Saw Gerrera. So he is in the finale. Well, the two-part, I guess, because we got the last two episodes together.
Yeah.
So Saw Gerrera ends up being on the summit where some Imperials are having a really big meeting about the Death Star and what the next projects are to be. Saw Gerrera is in disguise with a couple people in TK armor, so Stormtrooper Phase 1 armor or whatever. And the Bad Batch is there also trying to get information. And they run into each other.
Save the clones.
Yeah, they're trying to basically save the clones, yeah. And Saw has charges planted all around the summit to blow it up. And the Bad Batch is like, no, we need in here, we gotta get something, we gotta get someone. And they're like, no, we're blowing it up. Well, Saw blows it up. And they have to escape. Saw escapes fine in a Lambda shuttle, I think is what it was. And the Bad Batch have to scrape for themselves. They have to escape on like a rail cart gondola. And when they get it started, they shut it down halfway through. So they're just out in the open air. They send V-Wings out to attack them. Tech has to crawl up onto this thing and basically go on the railing, walk over to a switcher box or whatever, and power it back on. And when that happens, they get hit with the V-Wing, and Tech falls, and he gets his grappling hook or on his belt or whatever, and he's suspended down, and Wrecker can't pull him up, and he has to sacrifice himself. So Tech cuts the line and breaks the part of the gondola that got shot, so the rest of it can magnetize back up and move again. It was being prevented from doing that. So Tech sacrifices himself in the finale of the Bad Batch Season 2 for everybody. So Tech dead. Tech is dead.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I mean, it's fair. Somebody's gotta die eventually because it is war. I think sometimes people get away with shit that they shouldn't in some of these shows because the main character stuff, like they'll just walk out of a room. That's like, I don't know if they just walk out for free on some of these, but I mean, it's 2 seasons of them hiding and running from the Empire, being constantly shot at. It wouldn't be surprising that somebody eventually either got lucky or was good enough to take one of them down, at least one. So I mean, it makes sense that eventually it happened, but it's still a really like sad moment because I don't know. I hated the episode where like Tech was trying to get closer to Echo, But now
Mhm.
it kind of makes a little bit more sense that they did that because they wanted him to be kind of a bigger deal for the finale episode. But I mean, it's like it still beats you up a little bit. It's not like a bad like a okay, well he died, cool. Like yeah, you got a whole season to spend with him. It's season 1, and then season 2, you got a whole nother season of episodes and shit that he was doing. So it's not like it's a character you don't care about. Because sometimes
Yeah.
they'll kill a character and it's like I didn't care
And they really
because they just
humanize
didn't
him,
important.
because he's like a
Yeah.
robotic kind of guy who doesn't share that
Th-
much. And in season 2, they spent a lot of time humanizing
Yeah.
him with Omega.
That girl
Omega.
calling him Brown Eyes too.
Yeah, they gave him a little bit of Wanda Sykes was his love interest. Um, but it was I mean it was pretty sad, the way that he died. Um, and it was pretty sad. And then after that, the rail cart crashes. They go back to Sid for help. Sid
I mean,
sells him out.
We kind of knew that. I mean, she was like a
Yeah.
bad ex. She's like, you guys cut me off, and she's like calling him and texting him and shit like that, trying to get him to come back. Like, I took care of you, and it's like, dude, going back to her, kind of knew what happened. Like, it's kind of obvious, but it's still like you kind of knew. The whole season they spent telling you like, hey, she's kind of bad news. So they spent the whole season to kind of mentioning it.
Yeah, and she sells him out. Like we were saying, it was kind of inevitable. Yeah, we all saw it coming, or at least I felt like we did. And she sells him out to the Empire. The Empire comes, and the new scientist guy shows up, throws Tech's goggles on the ground.
Bro took the time out of his day to grab those goggles too. That's bold.
Yeah, and he basically captures the Bad Batch, and then Omega trades herself for them. So he escapes with Omega before they're able to put a tracker on the ship, and then he gets to, what's the starts with a T? Tantus? I think it's Tantus, the mountain.
The mountain? I don't know.
I think
Oh,
it-
the mountain on Coruscant?
No, it's the mountain where he's doing all the cloning, where he brings Omega at the end of the season.
Oh, yeah, I don't know what the name of it
I
was.
think that's what
forget.
it was. But
I
he
think
brings
they
her
might
there.
have mentioned it, but they kept things secret. I guess the secret stuff.
He brings her
Yeah.
there to use against Nala Se because she has an attachment to Omega. And then she goes into a room and finds Crosshair. And there's a medical assistant in there. And that's revealed to be Omega's sister. And roll credits.
Yeah,
Um,
the sister thing is like, no explanation, nothing, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I have no idea what to make of it or what to expect.
We just have to wait and see. It's unique. It's not a bad thing. It could be neat. She could be a new member of the Bad Batch. She could replace Tech. She's smart. She's a scientist.
I don't know. She's more like a medic than a scientist. Like, Tech was kind of like an on-field, like,
Well, yeah,
you
but
could decrypt languages and stuff like that. It's a little bit different, but
you can
maybe.
always use a medic.
Yeah, you could.
So I think that might be the road they're taking. I don't know for sure, but that's what I think they're gonna do. Is they're gonna win her over. But I have
you think
no
Echo's
idea.
gonna come back?
I
Because
don't
Echo's
know.
kind of hanging out.
Okay. So, without going into too much detail yet on Star Wars Celebration, there was a reveal of Wolf in season 3 of the Bad Batch. So they announced season 3 of the Bad Batch. They also announced it's the final season. But I guess there was a trailer that was only shown. I didn't get to see it, but everyone's saying there was one shown only to the crowd, so it wasn't public. And Wolf was in it. So I can only assume that's going to be an episode with Echo rescuing him, since he's the guy out rescuing all the clones.
Yeah. Well, didn't they have McGregor in season 1? Wasn't that right?
They had Gregor.
And what happened to him at the end? Didn't he like get away? So maybe it's.
Well, he
maybe
was
it's
with them,
setting
and
up-
he was with them in that in the Summit episode. He was one of the pilots in there. Yeah.
Wouldn't they set up? Maybe they're setting up Rex, McGregor, and Wolf all to do some. What's the name of those aliens they kept shooting and killing there?
Where at?
Remember on the Rebels where they were on that planet all in the middle of nowhere in the AT?
Oh, the Chupa.
Yeah, some chupa hunting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bro.
they gotta do some of that. Maybe that's what they're setting up, is putting those three together, and they're gonna just leave.
I'm gonna save you so the comments don't kill you. All right. You keep saying McGregor like Mick Griddle. His name's just
McGregor.
Gregor.
Is it not?
Yeah, there's no Mick.
Oh, well.
It's just Gregor.
Oh, he's got green, so maybe we think Irish. Maybe that's why. He also talks very different. Is he just neurotic?
Well, he got blown up on the. He lost his memory.
Yeah.
So he's kind of crazy. But yeah, I thought it was fine. It left me wanting more, which is always a good thing. We'll have to wait till season 3. They said season 3 is coming out in 2024, so next year. So
yeah,
I hope it's great.
I'm curious to see if they do anything with Bad Batch after the last season ends. But I guess we're kind of wait to see like how it ends.
Yeah.
Because maybe they all die, kind of like what's it called, Rogue One, where they just all blow up and die at the end. But obviously, I think Crosshair's coming back. That one's kind of obvious, but they have such a small crew. Like the whole time, it's just like 2 people now. It's just Wrecker and it's just Hunter. That's it. That's all it is.
It keeps going down and down.
Yeah.
So now that we have kind of covered Bad Batch, let's cover the other show that's still running. Let's segue on to The Mandalorian.
Actually, it's over. I watched the next episode early.
Cheater.
Mando.
Spoiler alert.
He heads over to the bar and just leaves. He just leaves. He's like, you know what, this ain't worth it, bro. I got a child. He's a only dad. Like, come on.
He walks over to a bar, orders a cup of spotchka, and they slowly zoom out, and it's Max Rebo playing Lopty Neck on the keyboard with Snice Noodles, and they play the wah.
They gotta leave it open so they can have a show for like 10-year-olds of Grogu singing the ABCs. They gotta leave it open for the lore.
It's true. They can't kill him.
They can't.
So, where we are at now in Mandalorian, season 3, episode 7, I think is where we're. Yeah, we just watched episode 7, The Spies. Here's the only thing I have a weird feeling. It's probably one of my favorite episodes, if not my favorite episode of The Mandalorian, was episode 7, season 3, The Spies, is titling the episode The Spies. I guess I don't get that title.
Well, people have been theorizing a lot. I think there might be somebody that's helping out.
So, yes, and again, spoiler alert for Mandalorian, but I think the Armorer is in on it.
Somebody was saying...
I think she's in on it.
People have been saying it's too obvious, and... maybe it is too obvious, but I don't know how smart Star Wars writers can be sometimes. Sometimes they make some really dumb decisions. Sometimes they make really good ones. So somebody was saying that, like, Armorer seems to be either betraying somebody, or maybe she's just really cautious because she got betrayed. And some of the Mandalorians that betrayed her are the ones that are helping break people out and helping out the Empire. Because how else would they know how to make armor? Because that's kind of somebody was saying, like, hey, how do they have Mandalorian armor? Who forged that? Like, armor? Or is it somebody else, like a whole group of Mandalorians who are on the Empire side still? Like, how are people who were with the Empire before it kind of got, like, to it where it was now? Are they still loyal to it? Like, maybe that's what it is.
Maybe. I have that feeling she is going to betray them. I think she's going to go and try to get the Mythosaur.
She's really weird of a character. She's very different.
On the line. She's on the line. You can't tell.
She's kind of like their pseudo leader. Like, she doesn't ever act like a leader. Like, she doesn't do a ton, but she's kind of like the go-to. Like, hey, we're gonna do this. Is that cool? Or like,
Yeah.
She crafts the armor. She's like, it's a pretty important part of their little clan there. So, I don't know. It seems
I also,
weird.
another weird thing that I think, this is gonna be a weird one. I think that her and Paz Vizsla, I think Ragnar is their son. I think Paz and the Armorer were together.
Yeah, I was saying that to somebody earlier today. They made no hint whatsoever who the mom is.
And I think she's the mom. I genuinely do. That's okay. And then, so we'll continue on with the story of what happens in the episode. So they go to Mandalore. The Bo-Katan brings both factions together, and they go to Mandalore. So you have the ones that were actually born there, Bo-Katan's people, and Din Djarin's people. And they go to Mandalore. Skinny P had an appearance from Breaking Bad. They go together. They show up on Mandalore. They start going into the destroyed cities. And then all of a sudden, a boat appears. And there are alive Mandalorians still on the planet from the Purge. And they are loyal to Bo-Katan. And then they show her where the Great Forge is located. They go there.
It's Lady Bo-Katan.
Lady Bo-Katan Kryze. My bad. And then they hear jetpacks. They think more Mandalorians. And then it is these pseudo... It looks like First Order meets Death Trooper meets Mandalorians. But it's all white. And then this whole fight starts going out. And then when they shoot one in the face, it deflects off of it. And they're like, oh god, they're wearing... Beskar.
Mandalorian like Beskar, yeah.
Yeah, they're wearing Beskar. And then it hit me like the Mandalorians are hunting down these Imperials wearing Beskar, and they're retreating, and they're following them into this cave. And this cave is looking like, at the very beginning of the show, Moff Gideon is shown to be alive. And he's doing a round table with the Shadow Collective on the hologram, but they show the room he's in, and when they're running, they show the room, and it's like, oh my god, he's been on Mandalore this whole time. So they run in, and they reveal him, and he's got Dark Trooper version 4 armor, which is wearable, but it's version 4, and it's perfect because Moff Gideon's in it. It's got like a crown on it. It's kind of neat. It's all black. It's got a cape.
Yeah. The guy who plays him is so good at playing the villain.
Esposito.
They
I can't
made
think
a
of his first name.
Thrawn.
Yeah, they did talk about Thrawn. Well, and Captain Pelion was one of the guys in the hologram. And Captain Pelion, for everyone who's watched Rebels, was the guy from the finale of Rebels. Spoiler of that. When the... what are they called? When the Purgil show up, he's the guy on the radio that contacts Thrawn, where he's like, they just showed up out of hyperspace. They came out of nowhere. That was him on the radio. So he survived that. He's also from the books, the Timothy Zahn novels. But super cool to get all that little lore. So Moff Gideon shows up. He's able to separate when the Mandalorians run in. He separates them where there's like Din Djarin and 2 others, and then he locks the rest of them. There's like 25 of them in this corridor he locks in there. They kill the 2 Mandalorians, and then they're able to capture Din Djarin. And he tells them, hey, Bo-Katan, I've got Din Djarin, go put him in the debriefing room. We're going to talk to him later. And then...
Put him in the deep fryer.
And then, Beskar ain't going to help that. And then he tells Bo-Katan to give him the Darksaber. And the Heavy Mando's like, this is the way. And he starts shooting the door. She runs away to try to cut him a hole out. So Paz Vizsla, for those of you who don't know, that's the Heavy Mandalorian, the big one with the minigun. He gives them all cover, and he's the last one out there, and Bo-Katan, it's super emotional scene where she just goes out there and says, come on, we're not leaving you, and he smacks the button because there's so many. There's a ton of these Imperial Beskar wearing jetpack having stormtroopers out there.
And people keep
And
saying that him doing that was not necessary at all.
she
I mean,
would have cut the hole bigger because he couldn't fit through that hole.
yeah. I mean, maybe if he tried, but like, it was a decent sized hole. It wasn't bad. He could have fit
I don't
through,
think
but
Paz could.
He could have shot through the hole, and she could also just made the hole a bit bigger, like after the fact. Like, oh my bad.
He could
I
have.
don't know how necessary the death was. But,
I think, in my eyes, I think he was trying to delay them so they could get out of there as quick as possible. So they would all be focused on him. Well, that's the thing, is he didn't know if he was going to do that or not. So they all focused on him, and he gave them enough time to escape. He ends up killing all of them, and a second wave of them even shows up. And he overheats his gun. It starts turning red and melting. Super cool. He's got to throw it at a guy, and then he starts fist fighting him. He gets shot. So he gets shot like 3 times, and he actually kills like all 25 that showed up, which is insane. And they all were wearing Beskar. And
yeah, he's getting shot the whole time he's punching people, but he just like tosses them off the cliff.
He is tanking them. He's like Black Chrysanthemum in the Book of Boba. He just kept tanking the hits. And then, you know, he's standing there. He's out of breath. He's breathing like, man, I finally did it. And out of nowhere, you see a red cape. And then you see 3 silhouettes holding purple weapons, which was, I thought that was kind of weird. They were red before, but then it's revealed to be 3 Praetorian guards.
Yeah, he did ask for those earlier in the episode for backup, like assassination attempts, because he was worried.
He wanted guards, and
which he rightfully he asked for, because they all died pretty much except for those 3 guys.
Yeah, so the Praetorian guards are all that's left. These 3 Praetorian guards show up, and Paz Vizsla's like, looks like I'm not done. Activates his shield and grabs the stupid little vibro knife, and he's like, let's go. And I'm like, this is insane. One man is going to take on 3 of like the strongest, basically not Jedi, Sith there are. And all 3 of them take him on. And he gets stabbed immediately, pushes him off, tries to get him. He hits one of them, and then one stabs him in the chest. And you're like, okay, he's done. But I love when he's like, he's stabbed in the chest. He grabs his arm, pulls him closer, and then grabs him by the neck. So Paz Vizsla grabs the one Praetorian guard by the neck. He tries to take one down with him, but he can't. He dies before then, and then they throw him on the ground. Super sad, because he was shown to be, in the first season, a unique character where you couldn't tell if he liked Din Djarin, and then later you're like, he helps him escape. This is the way. He helped him escape Navarro. Then later he finds out Din has the Darksaber. And the Darksaber belonged at one point in time to his father or relative, Pre-Vizsla from the Clone Wars, and he's like, I want that. And he challenges him to it. And he loses, so he doesn't get the Darksaber. And then Din Djarin basically gets even with him by saving Paz Vizsla's son, Ragnar. And
then he asked him to help him fight Navarro, and like he hated him. He said like, I disagree with this guy.
I disagree with this man, but he saved my son. End. Yeah, they do have a kinship at the end, and I really like that. It's sad that he died right after. But I think
then.
Go ahead.
The Darksaber, like you were mentioning, I think the Darksaber's had a cool appearance throughout the whole show.
It's a pivotal point.
He gave it to Bo-Katan, and not the same way as Rebels, where they just handed it to her. But like, he legitimately said, you know what, this actually is hers, because
he got
defeated by that. He got defeated by that stupid robot thing, that ugly little alien that they had.
Yeah, with the
kind
eyeball.
of a cool fight that they had. I don't know what was up with that thing. He wouldn't die, but he got defeated, and then she defeated it. So it's fairly. They didn't just hand it over as a gift like they did in Rebels, which is kind of a bothersome thing that they did.
Mm-hmm.
But this time they made sense out of it, and it still was kind of a gift, but like it made sense.
He returned it back to her.
It made
but
sense.
All we know now is Paz Vizsla's dead. 3 Praetorian guards are on the hunt. Moff Gideon has Din Djarin captive, and the armorer is in space returning the wounded, and Axe Woves is on his way to go warn them. That's all we know. We don't know what's going to happen. I'm excited. I don't know if it's true, I heard it's going to be like a 45-minute episode. That could be true, could be less, could be more. Always hoping for more Star Wars. So,
yeah, I think I saw a tweet of somebody who was involved with it saying it's going to be a real rough watch, like really depressing.
Yeah, but that's a good thing. Like it's going to be a good episode.
It's going to be meaningful. Yeah.
I have heard the same thing where everyone who got to see it early was like, it is going to be a good finale. I hope that's true. I have high hopes. This last episode was phenomenal. So I'm excited to see how season 3 ends, and what maybe it leads into with season 4. So that's a lot of the shows that we can talk about. Go ahead.
I did have a question, because they have a lot in Mando and some of the newer stuff, cameos, not just celebrity, but also cameo of random characters, which I'm not too worried about that part. But like the cameo of celebrities, you think it's like shoehorned in at all? Because I think Jack Black was fine, Machete was okay, he's just kind of a character. But like, do you think, is there too much celebrity cameos, or is like that a thing we can just do a little less or more?
Here's the deal with that. I don't think there's an issue with celebrity cameos as long as they're used tastefully and right. And I guess an example of that would be, I love Jack Black. Okay? And Lizzo is in that episode, and I have nothing against Lizzo. My biggest thing is that they kind of were given these little silly roles. And I genuinely would have liked to see if they could have done a little more than being these high society, we don't really understand it. I kind of wanted them to have a deeper role, more acting, you know. I'm not saying they weren't acting, but more to give, more serious acting. Christopher Lloyd is in that episode. You know, Doc Brown from Back to the Future. He's the guy who controls the droids. I loved his cameo because at first he's got a whole layer to him where he's like, yeah, I'm here to work on the droids, I control that, all that. And then he comes back and he's like, if I hit this button, I'm going to turn them all evil and kill everybody, you know? Like, whoa, he just flipped a 360 and then he's a Dooku sympathizer? Like, whoa, this is cool stuff.
That brings a whole level of the world where it's like, people did agree with Dooku. You never see it before.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Exactly.
What's cool in Clone Wars, we see how much we watch of the Senate from the Republic, and then we get to see an episode of the Senate from the Separatists, which is cool because of how like different it is. Like, you want to see both sides. You want to understand the world better, and a lot of the shows that we see with Star Wars. So understanding the world, like Dooku sympathizer, like that's
cool.
That's a whole new group of people. Like, that's probably a small minority of people who actually,
but they're out there,
know or care about Dooku way after the Empire, which is way after the Clone Wars. So he's pretty old, so I guess it fits in that he's like that old and knows who Dooku is still. And same with the Bad Batch, how that world where they showed his, like, where his home world thing is, his throne. Yeah, like his throne was there, and they're like, ever since Dooku was here, that guy's a jerk, and like they hated him.
Sereno, I couldn't think. Yeah, he was Sereno.
Yeah,
but it's cool. But so like I said, that's a good cameo. Christopher Lloyd's cameo was done good and tastefully. They gave the character a lot to do. Jack Black and Lizzo's characters were just kind of there to hold on to Grogu while the Mandalorian went to go do stuff. And they played a croquet slug ball game. But see, I wish they would have. I would have loved to have seen them work together with the Mandalorian to do more. You know, instead of just.
I saw. Yeah, I agree, but I saw the meme where it's like people in medication ads, and it's like them having fun doing this croquet thing.
Oh yeah. Well,
it's like how happy people are in those ads. It looked like just generic. Like,
another cameo, but a cameo with a bigger role. Bill Burr.
Yeah, I like
as
Bill
Migs
Burr.
Mayfield. Like, that was fantastic.
Agree.
And the dude, see, when you allow the character more time and more stuff to do, you can see that dude can act.
I mean, we kind of knew it. He's had many serious shows, like F is for Family. He's had like serious shows that he's done and acted on. So I think that a lot of cameos so far have been pretty good to not at all inhibiting anything.
Correct.
Like Machete, I don't even remember what he did. I mean, Boba Fett.
Oh, he was in the Boba Fett. He was the Rancor Keeper.
Yeah, he didn't really do anything. He showed up for like an episode, maybe two, and then you never saw him ever again. But you saw Boba ride. So it's like he was there. You knew Machete was there. He didn't at all really contribute a lot to the show, but he was a cameo. And then you got people like Bill Burr who have huge cameos that do a lot. Like he had multiple episodes, different seasons. He had like a redemption arc, how much he hated the Empire. Like that was a good cameo.
Well, the woman who owns the Oasis Cantina in the Book of Boba Fett, the pink Twi'lek.
Oh yeah,
that's Jennifer Beals. So she's the main character in the movie Flashdance. So she's also a cameo. But see, she's not just like a. You get the vibe just the way she acts, where it's not just, oh, welcome to my cantina, blah blah blah. She has like the waiters like come back to her and she goes, what are they doing? You know, she's always paying attention to what's going on in her field. She's got some depth to her, but you know, then she blows up.
I think something people liked as well is that girl who does the work on Tatooine, for Din Djarin, the technician girl.
Oh, Pelly.
Who dated that Jawa. Yeah, Pelly. She's kind of like a celebrity. She does that voice on Bob's Burger and probably a lot more. I just don't know off the top of my head. But
I really
she's
like her.
People know her, and she does a really good job. Plays a really good character that I think is important to like have.
Yeah, I enjoy Pelly's performance. So yeah, if you ask me, some people have been talking a lot about that. I don't think it bothers me that much. I really don't. I don't think it makes anything bad. I'll say the only thing weird about that last episode is seeing a super battle droid sprint. That was
okay, that was weird.
I'm like, they've never done that before, and it was a little weird, but
yeah, they always just walk at not even speed,
march.
Like walking speed. They slow.
They march.
They are slow, yeah.
It's
so
weird.
I did like the battle droid though, on how he's like, you shouldn't have kicked him. Like,
shouldn't have done that.
Are cool. The battle droids are cool. I mean, they're just doing battle droid stuff. They're trying to reclaim their life. A lot of droids are like, that's a whole other aspect to Star Wars too. Droids trying to live out their life on that planet is like reclaimed.
I also liked how that battle droid was voiced in the Clone Wars voice, not the movie voices, because they are different. Yeah. And I like the Clone Wars voice. I do prefer that one. Yeah. Matthew Woods.
We all grew up on it, and we all love the humor that those droids did with that voice.
For sure.
They're funny, and like you can, if you get the same voice, like there's certain voice actors. I'm also a little worried about not just like cameos, but like when people reoccur. So like when people, what's it called? Like reoccurring characters that you have in animation then go to live action.
Oh yeah, well like
really
Ahsoka.
Weird.
Like Ahsoka was animated and then came to life. Hera's gonna be that way with the new show. I got what you're saying.
Yeah, like reoccurring characters that have to occur in live action from animation, or even vice versa. Like with
bringing them from a different medium.
Like the Inquisitor.
Yeah. Yes, the Grand Inquisitor and the Fifth Brother. Both of them were in Rebels. Yeah, there's only so much you can do, and it's the same thing with like Ahsoka's headtail. Her Leku. Well, in Rebels they're way longer than they are in Mandalorian, and that means they should be longer.
I did see a picture,
but Dave Filoni said it was too hard to move.
Yeah, absolutely. And I saw a picture, probably one that's easier to fix, of Ahsoka's headtails, like how they're the pattern's a little different. So it's like some small stuff can probably be fixed, but I don't think it's a big enough deal. But I'm a little worried, like, I don't know, like so far we haven't had a ton. I think Ahsoka's going to be a big one. Transition from animation.
Yeah.
So a lot of it's going to be Rebels.
This show has high stakes. This show has Obi-Wan had really high expectations, and that show is split down the middle. So now Ahsoka is the next big stakes show, and I'm hoping everyone likes it.
I'm curious to see if they have the Rebels or writer from Rebels on there, like any of those people, to kind of help. They said they got Timothy Zahn on there to help with
Yes,
Thrawn, which
that'll be
was
cool.
good. So, and they got his voice actor, didn't they too? Or is that Timothy Zahn? I think
No,
I'm wrong.
Lars Mikkelsen is playing him.
Yeah.
He's the voice actor from Rebels. Yeah, he's gonna play him in live action, which is great.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm cool with that. I just Thrawn, I think, is too unique to change in a lot of ways, like voice-wise. Like he just has a unique voice that very much so shows his demeanor and what he's like.
Yeah.
He's not. It's very specific to him. Like people like Sabine can change. People like Hera is going to change a little bit. Kanan obviously didn't make the cut this season, but it's all right. He didn't make the cut for the show, but it's all right. His son did. I wonder what his son's going to look like in the show. But I don't know. I'm a little worried that some of these actors who have nothing to do with Star Wars, if I'm not sure what their criteria is, like maybe they don't understand like the character too well because they've not been playing them for the whole Rebel seasons. Because they're not making brand new characters, they're building knowledge from other actors they've like transitioned, which sometimes can be tough to take that mantle.
Yeah. It's we just have to wait and see. You know, I love the trailer, but
People complain about the trailer.
Trailers can be deceiving. We just have to wait until the show comes out, and we got a date. August. It's coming out in August. I will be celebrating my birthday month with Ahsoka. So
yeah, well, nobody's celebrating your birthday. Everybody celebrated Ahsoka's.
Yeah,
anyway,
I get it.
we gotta skip your party for Ahsoka watch. Sorry, brother.
Yeah, I get it. That's what I'll be doing. So,
sure, you're skipping it too. Your birthday party's just gonna be empty.
Yeah.
It's just Ahsoka.
Compared to
that's fair. Ahsoka's gonna got all the fans. People love Ahsoka, but people complain about every little thing on Star Wars sometimes. People complain about the trailer for Ahsoka saying it was like a nothing. I was like, it doesn't show nothing. I thought it was a cool trailer.
It showed you more than before, so it wasn't nothing.
I thought, what do you want? Like, we want to show important plot lines. You just want the show.
Yeah, I don't want that. I want to watch that live. I don't want to have all the spoilers ahead of time.
Yeah, I think they did a good job because trailers they can't show a whole lot, so it's only can show like kind of hype, like snippets of like 3 seconds.
Yeah. So, we've talked about new media. We talked about Bad Batch, Mandalorian, things like that. Let's talk about another medium of Star Wars that you and I both like. Toys, action figures, physical, collectible media.
Yeah, there's always a lot with that too. They're releasing a ton every day. Like there's always announcing stuff.
So much. So let's start off. Do you remember? It's okay if you don't. Do you remember your earliest or first Star Wars toy that you collect? So like not when you were a kid, maybe, but when you started collecting, what started you collecting Star Wars?
Well, we'll circle back to the kids thing because I kind of want to curious what some of your first Star Wars toys were because my dad was a big fan and I wasn't a huge fan as a kid, but I've kind of grown more of a fan like throughout the years. But we'll circle back to that because I got some funny toys like the Burger King bobblehead ones and stuff. But like some of the toys that I got, I think you probably got me into a lot more collecting because I don't know, I've kind of haven't had my own place until recently, so I've got a lot more space to store toys. So recently I've been getting more into it, like as the years been going on, I've got more space. But I'd say probably Black Series. I think the first one I got was Grievous. Somebody gave it to me as a gift and said, hey, you should start collecting. So I just started collecting from there, like Black Series. That's mainly what I collect right now.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't, the Black Series is the 6-inch scale figure line. Hasbro. They make a ton of figures. Sometimes it's hard to keep up with all of them. When you said your first, do you think was Grievous?
Oh, I know it was Grievous. Somebody gave it to me as a gift.
It's a cool figure.
Yeah.
They well, funny. We'll talk about it since you brought it up. They're making another one. Did you see?
I did not, but let me look, see if it's on there. I don't know if I saw anything about that recently.
Gaming Greats. Battle-scarred flaming Grievous. It's the skin where he's all destroyed and on fire.
Oh, I think I did see that. That did look cool.
That's cool.
I actually like that.
That's an exclusive done right. Figure that's already out with paint apps.
Yeah.
So what is the Black Series your favorite thing to collect for Star Wars?
Probably that. Well, I guess it's also Black Series, the helmets too. I collect a few helmets. I don't go like as crazy as you do. I get some of my favorite stuff. So
Man
I've
called
got
me
like
crazy.
I think you do go a little ham at some of the stores, man. Don't act like it's not true. But I get some of the Black Series helmets. Some of those. I think I got the Captain Cardinal, which I actually really like the slick redness of that one.
Yeah, the crimson.
I got the pre-ordered that Ahsoka one that came
Mhm.
out, the Ahsoka Clone Trooper. I got, I think, a black one. I believe it's. Can't remember exactly whose it is, but I remember I have one of the black Stormtrooper ones.
Oh, the Shadow Trooper.
I believe so. I think I have Death Watch as well. I think
Nice.
at least those ones, and I got some other helmets from other stuff too. But I got a couple of helmets. I got Black Series, and I've got other minor stuff. Like I don't know if you call it collecting, but I got a lot of comics in general. Like I've got
Yeah.
all of the Afro comics, a lot of the Star Wars, Darth Vader comics. I got the Kanan comic coming in the mail, the omnibus, that I'm gonna read through. So I collect a lot of comics as well, and books and stuff like that.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I would say. I mean, collecting physical media. That's collecting. You know, it's like I collect. I collect Star Wars Episode 3: Revenge of the Sith.
I collect money.
It'd be nice. Every time I see Episode 3: Revenge of the Sith, I will buy it. And I have a very it's tied. It's not even my favorite. It's tied for my favorite. I don't do it with my other one. I don't know why I do it. I'm trying to think of how many copies.
You just picked like a stupid thing to like, hey, that's a stupid movie that's always
It's nice
in stores for like a couple bucks.
Well, it's one of those things where like when I go to toy shows or pawn shops, they're there and they're always for like $1 or $2, and that's a fun thing to just have for $1. I have over 50, 60 copies of Revenge of the Sith, in all different widescreen, Blu-ray, 4K. I have it ripped on VHS. All the different kinds of releases of the film. I have I'm trying to think of the language. It's from Belgium. Dutch? I think Dutch.
Yeah.
But
think so.
I have a copy of that. My buddy, his girlfriend was from there, and they picked it up for me.
Oh man, I should have told some people. I know somebody who's going to Iceland. Maybe
yeah,
they can pick you up a copy from there.
Heck
What language do they use over there?
Icelandic. No, I don't.
Good question, but maybe if we go to like Japan, because I know you said you want to plan on going to celebrations, we can pick up a
Yes.
Japanese copy for you.
We will talk about that. But I collect, that's just a stupid thing I collect. But I do collect en masse. I do collect the Black Series. Since the Galaxy Wave has came out, I own.
You collect a little everything, to be honest.
Well, I'm just starting with the Black Series. I have for the Galaxy line, with the photos on the side. I am up to date with those, except for I don't care for the holiday ones. So like the, it's cool if you do. I'm all cool if you do. But I have a couple of the Christmas ones, and I don't have the Halloween ones. I don't think I'll get those.
The Halloween Chewbacca
you
one.
do. You have
I think
the
I have
Wookiee. Wear Wookiee.
I have Babu Freak with the First Order Trooper.
Yeah.
But those are kind of a little bit funky.
Mm-hmm.
They're their own little gimmick thing, but people boot them at celebrations. So you can see it's not like you can like it, but like I think it's generally people want actual Star Wars figures from the show because you're not seeing a holiday stormtrooper walking out like in Mandalorian coming out and shooting him like, oh my god,
whoa,
he celebrates Christmas.
That
so
Death
cool.
Watch trooper got a Christmas. He's got ugly Santa sweater on. Yeah, it's one of those like if you like them, awesome. I have a couple of the Christmas ones because the white Wookiee is kind of neat. That's like a Wampa kind of thing. So you can use that one if you do like a diorama or something and you want to open it. You could use the white Wookiee, but when it specifically has Christmas stuff on it. That's the hard thing to do. But I don't collect those, and I don't have the Ralph McQuarrie concept, Obi-Wan, Darth Vader. I missed out on that. I had so much time to get it, and I didn't. But Black Series is my main thing. I'm up to date with what's came out. I just got the 40th anniversary Return of the Jedi card back figures in, so I just got those. The one with Wicket, the Scout Trooper. I do vintage collection. I only get what I want from the vintage collection, so I get all the clone troopers. And then here and there ones if I want to build a set. So like I do open the ones that aren't clones or my favorite characters. So like I have a Endor Han, Leia, and an R2 because I just recently picked up the Endor bunker from the vintage collection with the AT-ST walker. I'd love to recreate that scene.
Yeah.
I've got like
throw some
TIE
pictures
fighters. Too. Yeah, we'll throw up pictures of what
stuff.
we're talking about so everyone can see. We recently went to a local toy show, and well, you picked up a vintage collection. You picked up the 3-pack with Afra 000 and BT. BT. Okay.
It's just BT. Yeah.
Yeah.
BE. It's kind of a weird name, but yeah, I'm kind of I got kind of a thing for Afra. I just enjoy the comics a lot because I think some of the really cool backlines. Like I just read Bounty Hunters, and she was in it. And so I just kind of like collect some Afra stuff because there's not a lot of it, so I just pick it up if I see it. But I do have that vintage collection. Vintage collection 3-pack of them. I have Afra, Black Series, and then I think that's all other than the comics. Although I do think some of the cool stuff you picked up some, because Black Series is cool, but I think you also pick up a lot of cool stuff as well. Like at the Galaxy Con you went to, you picked up that 3D print stuff at the booth. What was it, Han's Blaster you picked up?
So yeah, it's super. It was done with a resin printer, so it's really hard to tell it was 3D printed. I have Han Solo's DL-44. It's got a stand with it and everything. That thing's awesome. I got a thermal detonator, and then I got a pair of the binoculars.
Right, the Jedi Order binoculars, wasn't it?
No, it's the bigger pair that Luke looks at the Tusken Raiders with.
Right.
But it's super cool, great detail on them. Some use plastic, which is nice, like acrylic glass too. The binoculars have that on there. Great detail. So I picked those up there. But for like official license stuff, Black Series, vintage collection, I collect the Star Wars Hot Wheels Starship Selects.
The die-cast ones?
Those are the die-cast ones in the gray boxes. There are 15 of them right now, not including the chase ones. There's 2 that are showing up within the past couple days. The Mandalorian's N1 Starfighter and TIE Interceptor. I don't have those, but I have all the other ones. And then I'm collecting the Micro Galaxy Squadrons sets, so the mini ships. Yeah. I have... I didn't think there was that many until I looked at how many I have. There are too many. I love them so much, though. I'm missing one of the gunships because there's all the different variants of the gunships. I have all 5. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 of them. I have 3 of them, or 5 of them. I have 4 of them now. I just picked one up today, actually, at Target.
Nice.
I found one that I needed. It's the red one. I have Plo's Bros, Salacious, the Crumb Bombers, the Crumb Bomber, Plo's Bros, and then I just picked up the red one, and then I need the green one. And I have the Tiger Shark gunship, the blue one with the teeth. That one's awesome. So I collect those, and then I guess another thing is, like you were saying, the Black Series helmets. I have every single one of those except the first one they made, Kylo Ren's helmet. Haven't found one for a price that I'd like to pay. And I collect lightsabers. I do the Legacy lightsabers and Black Series. I kind of go off of which one I like more, Yeah. I sometimes, so like Legacy, I have a lot of Legacy sabers. The Leia one, I did not like. I like the Black Series one more, so I bought that one. The Ahsoka Black Series only has the one So I bought the Legacy lightsaber so I could get both of them. So it's
Yeah.
both. I like to pick and choose. It doesn't bother me that I don't have all the Black Series sabers and I don't have all the Legacy. I will say Legacy is nice because I absolutely love the crates that they come in. The crates it's such a nice carrying case option, and they look nice. They look.
Oh
they
yeah,
look
I
great.
got a couple of those too. I know I didn't mention those, but I have the Ahsoka limited run from the parks.
You have
The box that plays the sound. Yeah.
yes, the limited edition Rebels sabers.
But I also got the original ones that were
You
at the
do?
park as well when I actually physically went there.
The Clone
And then
Wars.
I got a custom lightsaber from the park that I went and created myself. And then I had the new ones coming out for the new game that came with the collector edition I got. So I'm gonna have those coming in too. It's hard to kind of store all those on the shelf and like show them off.
Mm-hmm.
So I generally keep the box closed, but it's cool to have them. Like the boxes themselves, like you said, was very cool. So you can even just display it on their own is still very cool looking.
Yeah, I do not have a Obi-Wan and Anakin, and I really eat myself up over it because I missed out on the Mustafar box. Just like how the Ahsoka ones, it plays Battle of the Heroes. You see Obi-Wan and Anakin's lightsabers inside. It's fantastic. If I can get one for a reasonable price, I would. I know that they sell Obi-Wan and Anakin sabers separately at the parks now. You just save I guess you don't save money because the box costs money, but it is nicer to get the box. The Mustafar Lava Crackling box that plays Battle of the Heroes. It's fantastic. So my main stuff is I love collecting the higher end stuff. I have some Gentle Giant statues, the Black Series helmets. I have a Cybercraft helmet. I like it. But lightsabers, helmets, and I really love the ships in Star Wars. So I collect a lot of those. Though I was saying I collect the Starship Selects, the Micro Galaxy Squadrons, but then I also get all of the vintage collection ships. So like I have a vintage scale gunship. That thing, I have no room for it. I have the Black Series First Order TIE Fighter. That thing is massive. I bought the with you at the toy show, the Juggernaut.
Yep.
I bought the Juggernaut, and I love that thing. And it has a speeder inside that shoots out.
Missing one missile though.
Missing one missile. If I could, one more that I really would like to get is definitely the ATTE and the Vintage Collection AT-AT. Those are two that I'm after.
Forgot to mention your coup de grace, that remote that plays sounds that you got from that same convention a year ago.
I have a television remote control in the shape of the Sith Infiltrator, Darth Maul's ship, where like it's awful. When you turn the volume up, it like it's super loud and fires off lasers. It's awful, but it's hilarious. I had to get it. It was like $5. I said that's hilarious. I'm buying that. Another thing that I got from that toy show was the Master Replicas half-scale helmets. I got Commander Green, the 501st helmets.
Oh yeah.
Those are beautiful.
One thing I think that looks really good, and I don't collect a lot of Lego, but the BD1 Lego looks really good. Like it looks really good. Like it's like a more true model. But I really like the BD1 Lego that I got, as well as I got Obi-Wan's Starfighter, Jedi Starfighter. It looks really good too. So I collect very minimal Lego, but that one I did want to get the BD1 really bad because it looks really good.
I used to be huge into Lego. I have from growing up, I still have my AT-AT. I have my gunship. The last time I bought a Lego set was actually when I used to stream. I streamed on May the 4th, and I bought the AT-AT, not the Ultimate Collector's one, but I bought it was like the $150 one. But I got it on sale because it was May the 4th, and I built that on stream. So that was kind of fun. That was the last Lego set I bought, and I'm just not into Lego as much as I used to be. I love minifigures, but building the sets is cool and everything. I just don't have the time to do it. And I know you also, you're the Lego guy now compared to me. You have BD1, and you also bought the Jedi Starfighter on Kamino, right?
Yeah, just those two really. That's I'm not much of a Lego guy. I just thought the BD1 looked good, and I've always been a big fan of the Jedi Starfighters. I even saw one at Disney World, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'll take a picture of it. So I just think Starfighters are really cool, just in general, because the concept of like not really having much defense because the Jedi will just dodge it because of the Force and all that stuff. So I just kind of like that ship in general. I just think it's a cool ship. So I did want to get an A-wing. I've been kind of eyeing up the Anakin one that's like yellow. That's from the movie. It looks really cool. But I already have an A-wing, so I'm still debating it. But
Oh,
it's
well,
an
his
older
is
ship too, so it's hard to find.
the yellow one. His Jedi Interceptor. That's from the Clone Wars.
Yeah. Oh, that's the Clone Wars one. I thought that was the one from Revenge of the Sith.
So it's weird. They have the triangular ones, and then you have the Jedi Interceptors, which they have like the wings that fold up on the wings.
Yeah.
Because they're different. Okay, do you remember when Obi-Wan gets chased by Jango Fett in Episode 2?
Yeah.
The real long, narrow one?
Yeah.
Is that what it is? Just yellow?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Is mostly.
Then that's his Clone Wars.
Yellow.
That's Anakin's Clone Wars ship. Because in Episode 3, they have the other ones where the buzz droid gets on him and everything.
Yeah, I think it's. I'm looking at a picture of it now. I'd suggest Googling it just to make sure, because you know the details better than I do. But it looks like it's Anakin with, like, the wings are kind of gray with some yellow on them, but mostly gray, and it just says Anakin Jedi Starfighter, 247 pieces. So it's with R2-D2 and him.
Is it just a straight triangle?
Yeah, it doesn't look
Then
like it
it's-
folds up on the wings at all.
Then yeah, it's his Clone Wars one, which is still cool. That thing gets destroyed. The Zillo Beast destroys it.
Yeah, so it's still a cool ship. I really like a lot of the ships and droids and stuff like that. I'd say I'm a bigger fan of droids than I am clones, so I collect a lot of the Black Series droids specifically is what I go for more
I
often
do
than
like
clones.
droids.
Yeah, droids are cool. I just like the different droids you can get. Like astromechs have a whole lot of things going on with them. Battle droids, guard droids.
Yep.
There's just a lot of. You can get some cool stuff. So
They are
the
finally-
droids are cool.
They are finally in the new announcement from Star Wars Celebration. The 40th anniversary R2-D2 is going to be the first one to scale. So all the other R2-D2s they made in the Black Series have actually been too small. This will be the first time.
Unacceptable.
Correct. This will be the first time that they make one actually to perfect scale with it, which I'm super excited to see. I want that with R5 now, because they're all slightly underscaled. But yeah, I love the Black Series. I love collecting Star Wars. This morning I went on a little toy hunt with my buddy. We walked around. Found, like I said, I found that Micro Galaxy Squadron. It's the Coruscant Guard. I just looked at it. I have it here next to me. I got that. There was a copy of Episode 3 at our Goodwill, so I had to buy that too. But I always love going on hunts. But it is becoming a pre-order world, which is kind of unfortunate. I love going on the hunt, but for a lot of things you kind of do have to pre-order, or you won't get it. That's
Pretty
kinda
much
why
like
I
a
have.
Ahsoka helmet. And,
Yeah,
yeah, a lot
And
of May the
the-
4th stuff would be like that.
the Naboo Starfighter, the Mandalorians, that's sold out so quick. I'm glad I got that. Super excited for that. And then I have the Razor Crest. I have the HasLab Razor Crest. I will be
That Cad
displaying
Bane that
those
came out too.
next to those. Yeah, Cad Bane, he's still available. Same with the Omega. But then they have the double pack too. They will have
Yeah, I
a
saw
double
that coming
pack
out.
with Cobb Vanth without the armor. So, and that's a reasonable price
Oh,
one.
yeah.
But
A lot coming out though.
A
We'll see
lot.
on May the 4th. Yeah.
20 plus figures announced. So,
May
That's
the
a lot.
4th coming up for more announcements, less drop and bet, and we just had
Disney.
celebrations, so probably a lot of stuff's on this side of the year because of everything like May the
Mhm.
4th and
See-
celebrations. I don't think they're gonna take away stuff because celebrations. They're gonna just double it.
that's the scary thing is if they do, because Celebration just happened. They announced a ton. Not just action figures, but like you were saying, Jack, they have the Ahsoka helmet that was announced. Like that's a lot. That's a lot to announce. And they had the ship, the Naboo Starfighter they announced. So on May the 4th, I have a feeling they are going to announce a 501st helmet.
I mean, we'll see. I'm curious. They're doing a lot of helmet stuff recently, so maybe. You just never know what they're going to release, man. It's just hard to tell unless it was in the pipeline. But I'd be curious to see. I probably might get that one, honestly, because I do. I like I said, I like droids better, but clone helmets. I kind of like the different clone helmets that you can have, like the different designs and mecha stuff. I think it really kind of shows it off when you get the helmets. So I mean, we'll see. A lot of stuff going to get announced. A lot of shows got announced. Star Wars is just kind of in this era where it's just like endless content and releases and announcements, which is I'm fine with. They're doing pretty good so far, I think.
Yeah. Well, in the other helmet that was announced, I believe in December or January, that we're still waiting for, is the Scout Trooper. So that will be the biker scout from the speeder bike
Did you
stormtrooper. That will
did you
open
see
from the
the inside
front.
of that thing? Yeah, did you see the inside? I saw a video of somebody showing it off a little bit.
Yeah,
Man, that thing looked good on the inside. Like it looked really padded and comfy.
they all look that way.
Yeah, well, some
Open
of
up
them aren't
your
as
Death
that
Watch.
way. But...
Look inside your Death Watch helmet.
Yeah, well, I'm afraid I haven't opened up any half of my helmets. I haven't opened up because
Yeah.
I've been trying to get this like hook for my wall to show them off, so I just haven't opened up really any of them. So, but yeah, it looked good. It looked really good. They're doing a good job on the helmets. Like some of the battle damage on the Ahsoka one looks good.
Mm-hmm.
Scout Trooper one looked good. So I mean, I'm probably gonna pick up a couple helmets myself, even though I don't probably have the wall space for it. But I don't know. I'll figure it out.
Yeah. And I think what we'll do next on the next episode 2, I think we might, if we get anything in the meantime, we might do like a recent pickups bar. We'll show up what we recently got, or if we did,
Mention it, yeah.
fine
Probably also
additions to
talk
our
about
collections.
Yeah, probably also if we don't have any episodes, other than obviously the next Mandalorian episode will come out. We'll probably talk about that, but also stuff like maybe more in depth of stuff that we already watched or watching recently, like a book or a comic or
Oh yeah, we
some
might
other stuff, or
do a Clone
maybe
Wars episode or a Rebels episode.
yeah, I was gonna say Rebels too would be really good, Clone Wars,
I would
stuff like
love,
that.
I would love to rewatch Clone Wars. I'm always
Yeah,
game to
do it all
rewatch
the
Clone
time.
Wars, and I'm always game to rewatch Rebels.
Yeah, I
If
mean,
that's
I literally
something,
just rewatched it, so I mean, go ahead.
yeah, if that's something that you guys want, maybe we could do that. Where like, oh, we would watch it, and then we could do. It doesn't have to be like the podcast. It could just be a thing we do where like we'll review this arc. Like we'll watch 3 episodes and talk about it, and I think that could be fun.
Yeah. I think that could be fun, especially with how many filler episodes there probably are of both
Mhm.
shows, or especially Clone Wars. Of
It's always
like,
fun to watch with someone else.
yeah, well, we're gonna review the Martina sister arc first, obviously, because that's the best one
I
this
thought
season. But
so. If anyone asks, if anyone is curious in the comments below, Jack's favorite arc in Star Wars: The Clone Wars is the droid arc. It
can you
with
disagree with Luke though?
Colonel
Luke
Meeber
George Lucas?
Gascon. Colonel Meeber Gascon. You've got Whack, the pit droid. That is Jack's favorite. And I'm lying. He thinks it is stupid. But
Okay, but can you name the chief leader of Vermin? Honestly,
is it Tiwok Ta?
I don't know. I honestly don't know the answer to that one. You tell me. I know Wag too.
Yeah, Wag 2 is the son, and Tiwok Ta is the chieftain. I'm pretty sure. Fact
I think
check
you're
me.
probably right.
Fact check
90%
me in
of
the
the time-
comments.
You're right 90% of the time. So
I-
the only one I can really catch you on, and I think we should do this too. Maybe like a test of.
I know what you're gonna
'cause
say.
We always do this.
I know what you're gonna
Test
say. You're
of
gonna
random characters.
you're gonna say that guy at the cantina bar,
Yes, I am.
and
What is his name?
I don't know. I forgot.
You don't know. This is why I keep mentioning it because you never remember his name.
I
You
always
know him now. Like before you used to never know who I'm talking about, but now you know him. You just don't know his name.
Yeah.
My go-to was the chief leader at first, but now it's that guy because he got on to the
Yeah.
Tiwok.
Boshek.
We should do that, like a little quiz. We should do. I think that is Boshek.
It is
actually.
Boshek.
I think you look it up.
Oh yeah, 100%. I just did. I wanted to know his name. So yeah, I'm not saying I did. It's Boshek. I had to look it up.
We can do a random character test and try to find the toughest characters. If people leave comments of their most obscure character and just like write something so we know that you shouldn't be reading that comment, so you don't like try and look it up. But
Well,
like We should get random characters and like quiz you on it, because that's always a fun thing we kind of randomly do, because you
Put,
know a
yeah,
lot of people.
put them in the comments, and we can have like a Star Wars trivia night or something. We could do that. That
Yeah.
would be a fun one to do live. Um,
Yeah, how tall is ATTE or ATAT? I mean, how tall is it?
the one in front of me on my desk is about 3.5 inches.
No, the real size. Remember that
Oh,
card
Jack,
somebody gave you,
Star Wars isn't real. They're not.
bro? You know how tall it is. You know what's the answer?
It's is it 16.5 meters?
I don't know the answer. You had
Let's look it
like
up.
this little quiz card. I think I might go buy one of those. I think that'd be kind of funny. Buy one of those hard quizzes. Some of them are like, "Who is this character?" And it's like a picture of Yoda. It's like, bro. But like, I think
74 feet.
I think you're right though. A quiz section, like who's this character or what's this random knowledge? Because I wouldn't know a lot of it, but you would know quite a bit of it, and you might learn a little bit more. So that'd be kind of fun to
Always.
do that. I think again a comic review or a book review, because a lot of those kind of get not as much focus because nobody ever. I don't know. Releases happen and people don't talk about it as much, and they're kind of still really fun.
Oh yeah, you
Like
could
the
do
Bounty Hunter comic that I read.
not a
It's
book
so
club,
good.
but a book review or whatever.
Yeah, like a small segment talking about it or something like that, like a series or like I read the Bounty Hunters comic series with Dawn, and then I kind of transitioned into the Dawn specific comics, which are still being released. So it's a newer thing, but it's still really good. Some older ones are probably good too, and just stuff like that. Like we'll get suggestions though, and we'll see. But we have some ideas.
Yeah, I would love that. I think that's super fun. There's plenty of things we'd like to do.
Star Trek. Oh,
You know, like I said, well, sir, we we're gonna keep doing this as long as we keep having fun with it. So I had fun just talking about Star Wars. I always do. We do this all the time, so it's just more fun to do it like this, I guess, you know. And it's
yeah.
always more
Do
fun
that
to
and see what
share it,
people
get
are
people's
like.
input, learn things from other people. So definitely. Was there anything else we wanted to go over?
I think we've been doing this for a bit, so probably save at least a little bit for next week. But I think we got a lot.
Yeah, I think what we'll do is next week we can talk more about what all happened at Celebration.
And
Because
Mando
Mando will be the
finale.
big focus, but since that'll be the finale, we'll kind of won't have that much media to talk about. So I think we can save it for then, and we could talk about Celebration, the finale of Mando, things like that. See if we got any new pickups. Talk about anything else and go from there.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll have plenty.
But we'll
I'm
have
sure
a big.
we'll have plenty with pickups.
I'll
Yeah.
be at minimum. I'll be doing May the 4th. I have that. I will not be working that day, so I will be free to do this all day for May the 4th.
I'm probably working that day, but I don't know. We'll see. I might be free in the morning, and I don't know. We'll see. That's a Thursday, but we'll see. We'll probably have lots to talk about that week too, which is coming up. So we'll see. We'll see a lot coming up. Jedi Survivor game's gonna come out in like 2 weeks. We'll play
Oh,
that
yeah.
a bunch. See how that goes.
That's true. We should do we might do like a player. Let's play that. That'd be fun.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know when I'm gonna get my copy because I got the collector's edition, and I'm not gonna buy a second copy. So I guess it just depends on when it gets to my house. But
Yeah.
until the FedEx guy smashes it on my front doorstep, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. I think that would be fun. Cool.
We'll put together some ideas and read some comments, but we'll see you then.
Yeah, we will do that. So, well, I think that's it for the first episode. So we appreciate everyone who stops by and listens. And like I said, if you want us to keep doing it, typical YouTube, you know, leave a like. If you want to subscribe, you can, and leave a comment. Give us some pointers, some tips. We appreciate it. So thanks for stopping by the Maclunkey-Cast. See, you left me. There we go. See, he keeps.
Yeah, but do you know the translation? Do you know the translation?
Oh God. Yeah, I forgot already.
This is the end of you or something
This
like
is
that.
the end. This will be the end of you. Yeah. So, all right.
Big fan.
We're bad at outros.
All right, later.